Alright, computer art gang, going into a new tutorial here in Pixlr, and what we're going to be doing today is creating a text warp art image with Pixlr E. And so going to pixlr.com here, I'm choosing Pixlr E and going to close this pop-up tab. I will show you my example here. And so what I've done is created an image of a basketball, just going over all the outlines and lines across the ball by going over them with text boxes and then using the text warp feature in Pixlr in order to create this more artistic image of text of a basketball. And so let's go ahead and get started on our own example here. So I'll create new. I will choose the photo option and whatever size works for your image. I'll go big, and I can always crop and go smaller. We'll title this assignment text warp and click create. Then I want to bring in an image of whatever we are going to be creating an image of. So I want to do a search. I got my image of a basketball here. I'll copy this image and paste it into my project and make it a little bigger. The next things that I will do is I will probably lock this image layer so that it doesn't move around on me. So I'll click on the three dots here with this layer highlighted, and I will go down and click on locked. And now that will prevent me from moving around or really changing or adjusting that image. So then we will get into adding a text box. I will click to add a new text layer, and now I'm just going to type in a whole series of words because I'll be kind of curving this to make the outline of the basketball and then the lines that go across too. So if I just type one really long line, I can copy and paste it and use it for all of these lines that I'm going to go over here. So maybe first word I'll put in is maybe jump. I probably won't put in like commas or punctuation or anything. I'll probably just keep it just the words. You could all caps these, I guess, too, if you wanted to. I'll keep them lowercase, I guess, for this. But yeah, so maybe jump, pass, dribble. All the words that I can come up with or associated with basketball. Shoot, score, let's say steal, defend, basket, pressure. Let's see, what else? That seems pretty good. That's a good sized line there. I can keep my text black for now. I could always change the font color later. But you know what? I think I might go ahead and change it before I really get into it. So I'm going to try and click. I triple clicked to select my whole line of text. And then I'm going to go into my color picker, change my color. I'm going to go with orange, even though it is going to be kind of hard to see here on the basketball. But I could also change and make this image lighter. Let's see, maybe I'll lower the opacity so that I just barely see the basketball and allows my text to stand out a little bit more. All right, so now I want to take this text box. Maybe I want the text to be bigger. If you want your text to be bigger, you'll have to click back on your type tool and adjust the size here with the slider, or you could click in what font size you'd like to see. This feels like it's probably better size right about there. And you can change the fonts as well too if you want to have something a little different from just your regular old Arial font. We could use something a little bolder, something with a little more personality to it. I kind of like this font, although that particular font looks smaller than the Arial, so I can't see it quite as well. So I'm going to make my text just a little bit bigger again. That seems good. All right, next now warping. So warping text, we go to styles right up here in format. So you have format with your letter spacing. And if you want to do something with letter spacing, you can either make your letters closer together or you can make them further apart. If you want to play with that at all, you could make your font bolder if you want it to be bolder. But really what we want to look at is styles here, and we have curve and warp. Those are the main two features we're really going to be playing with. So first off, if I am just doing the outside of the ball, I can click on arc, and I can change the arc or bend of this text. And you can see that that will probably work well for like the lines that go across the basketball here. But if I want to do a circle, I can click on the circle option here, and this circle option will make it so that this bends along the right curve for a circle. You could see you could spread it. Now I can't zoom out while I'm in this feature, but you could spread it so it goes further across, and also flipping so that I think just made it go the other way. But so here, let's close up this window. I'll move this text into place. I think I would just have to reduce the size a little bit in order for it to really fit in this particular sphere here from my basketball. So I'm just pulling up on this bar on the bottom to just tighten it up. And now it looks like that fits to my curve. So now I'm just going to go Control or Command C and Command V and just copy and paste, and then just do a little rotation and make this kind of fit all the way around the basketball. So I'll do another copy and paste, move this out, and then do another rotation. Let's see, and then try to move this in to this placement here. You can also nudge. So using the arrow keys on your keyboard, I can nudge this very small increments. I may notice like there's some gaps here, so I might take this and maybe just rotate it a little bit just to even out the gaps. Oh, I thought I was clicking on the other text box. That is something that gets a little tricky when you're working on this, is trying to click on the correct text box, especially as you build up more and more. So just choosing them out of your layers panel is probably going to be the easiest way to go about it. There we go. Now I have those spaces kind of balanced out, and that works. So I'll just go ahead and paste in another line of this text. I'm going to take this text now, maybe I'll turn it back upside, right side up, and I'm going to go back to playing with my warp here. So back into curve. Again, you might see that warp might be more necessary for things like when we're doing these kind of curves. But here I will take this, maybe I'll go to arc this time. I have it arced downwards, and so this will work right here. Although I don't want that arc so heavy, so I'm going to turn down the amount. And then I'll pull this back into place. Get that going there. I'll copy it again and paste it. Now this I could use to go the other way. And that would be the curve that goes this way vertically. Again, going back into my amount here. And maybe you need that to curve actually a little bit more. Let's see if I can rotate it to fit. That looks pretty good. All right. And then I just have these tricky lines to go. So let's paste in another line of this text. And now, if I want to see if I can get this to go on this kind of line, like I said, let's look at the warp features and see if I can get close to it with the warp. So I'll turn off the curve. I'll go to warp, and you'll see you have a few different shapes here. You've got an angular, circular kind of design. You have this underneath type design, or the upper design, middle, lower. So right now I'm trying to go and get this curve here. So this looks like it will fit. And so you can see how it's changing the edges, the edge size there. So you just have to toy with it until you think that you're getting the right kind of bend for what you're trying to do. Let's see, I think maybe what I'm going for more of is this horizontal vertical type effect. But actually, maybe really what I want is to continue to use curves, but I will do these more in a way where I'm going to have this be on a smaller section. So maybe I'll just break this into two curves in order to actually get this in. And so what I might have to do is maybe take out some of the wording. And so maybe I'll take out a few words here. So this line section could be shorter. And let's see if I can get this to fit on this section here. That is pretty close, so I need to take out one more word, it looks like. So maybe I'll just take out another few words. It's a little hard to see my text from that small position. Zoom in a little bit here to see where I'm at. The other thing we can do is if we want to edit this further, because I'm not quite getting the amount of curve, right? I've put this amount of curve all the way up. Whoops, gotta turn that back on. So if I want to curve that even more, the other thing we can use is we can use our transform. But you see, you don't have our free transform or free distort options available. It's because this is still editable text. So what I would have to do is go to layer and rasterize this layer. And now what I can do is I can take this text, I could go to edit and go to free transform or free distort, either or. And now I can really kind of like take and move this text and bend it more into the positions that I really want it to go. So that is looking a little bit more like the shape that I needed. Cool. And then I'll click outside and just say yes, keep this distortion, this transformation. Okay, so that is the nice curve that I needed to get going there. Now I just have a little more of a section here. I can't actually add to this text line though. This is now an image, right? You can see it here in your image, in your layers panel. This says image here, this says text. So if I want to get more words going on this section, I would have to either start a new text box or copy and paste one of my other pre-existing text boxes that I used for these curves here. So maybe I'll just click out here and go add and start a new quick small text box, and I'll just start with some of these same words. Maybe I'll add a couple new things. Maybe we'll go with like 3-pointer, and we'll go with like jump shot, some other words that I haven't quite used in my text here yet. Does it save? It did not save what my font choice was here, but if I click on this box, I could see I did choose Arctic. So that's the text I want to find back for this box. So I'll go back down to Arctic. It will save my color. So it did save my color choice there, so I can pick that back. And then I'm really just going to try and get this to curve into this spot here. Let's see. So we'll try curve first. I'm going to arc more of this way this time. Do a little rotation. You can reduce the size of these text boxes once you kind of get your text to be the right size and shape. So this looks like that matches pretty closely. And then the other thing we can do every once in a while is we can turn off the visibility on the basketball layer. This basketball will be deleted from our final project. We will not keep that. I have one line left here to do. I think for this one, I can probably take my pre-existing line of text here. I just did a quick copy paste. I'll take this one, maybe swing it around. Where I'll need it to go is down here. So it looks like I might have to shorten this line of text again. And so I'm just going to delete maybe the first half of this. Click back outside, and let's see, will this part work in this section? That looks pretty good. I could maybe shorten it one more word, so I'm just double clicking, and I'm going to take out one more word there. Whoops, too many. I actually do like this font. It is an all caps font, so it works out pretty nicely. It makes the words very clear and easy to read. So that works for that section, and maybe I'll just take that last section of text. I don't think it selected it. There we go. I'm going to copy, paste one more time. And let's see, I'm going to take this, move it over here. I just need this arc to go the other way now. So I'm going to bend the arc the opposite direction. Take that, put it down here. It looks like maybe rotating it just a bit to get it to the right spot. And that looks like I've got it pretty good. All right, so now the last few things are going to be I'll unlock this layer, maybe turn off its visibility to see my image without the image in the background. This layer may just want deleted at this point even. At this point, it looks like I have the shape down and I could just junk that layer, not needed anymore. On the layer 1, the original image layer that we opened this up in, I will want to add a background of some kind, maybe a gradient layer, or maybe just a flat color layer. Maybe there's more text that should happen in the background even. That could even be a possible thing that you might want to add. So think about that as you consider how you want to finish your project off. We could do a radial gradient where maybe I'll have it kind of be like lighter in the center and then blue on the edges. So it's radial, and that looks pretty cool. We could mess with maybe just having it be a linear gradient and have it just go blue to white or diagonal. However you think is the best approach to making your text readable. You know, this doesn't necessarily make the text pop out because of this light color here. So maybe it would be better to go with something a little bit on the darker side, and I can try out a different gradient that might have some darker tones in it. Let's see. As I scroll through, I was kind of thinking keeping it to my team colors, the New York Knickerbockers. And so maybe I'll just keep it with kind of these dark blues. We'll try a radial gradient again. And I do kind of like the idea of it being lighter in the middle, darker on the edges. And I kind of made this center point here kind of line up with the edge of the basketball. Maybe we could go with that from here too. That's actually kind of nice. It's almost like there's a light source here, and then it really allows my text to stand out as I kind of zoom back here. All right, so, but flat colors could work as well if you just want to use your fill bucket to add a flat color background. I'm still not sure I'm totally settled on how my background looks here, but the other thing you could maybe think about doing as you've finished your project is getting down to these finishing touches, I could make the visibility of this background layer go away. And then if I want to merge all my text together, I could just go to Merge Visible. And now all those text layers are merged into one. It's locked up right now as a default, but I can click Unlock, and then I can click to put my background back on. And now I can just take this text, all this text is together. It's all merged into one layer. So I could rotate it, I could shrink it, I could place it somewhere a little more strategically here. So it's not just smack right in the middle. Sometimes it's not as artistic to really have something just smack right in the middle of your page here. So just moving it off to the corner a little bit does give us a little bit better composition. All right, but that is the basics of using the text curve, text warp features in Pixlr to create some more text art. So I hope you guys have fun getting into your own assignments and creating some text art.